Let's move on to our team dashboard. Now, when you look at your consolidated data export for the survey platform, you will notice a new tab there called team data. In fact, the exact wording is GS Teams. So we're using that tab there shown on the right. Now, once again, if you don't have Teams data captured or you have not set up your teams on the admin dashboard, this will not show up. So to leverage this kind of dashboard, you need to make sure that you've created your teams, and our new Manage Team Data functionality makes this so easy and quick to do. Okay, so we're looking at a little team profile here. How many team names do we have, and what is the description of each of those teams? Then we look at the manager profile. So what is the manager's full name and which teams are they linked to? On the right hand side, count of users per team. We've added in a tooltip there for you. So if you hover over one of these bars, you will see the list of people in that team, if that's handy for you. So on the bottom left here, we are now looking at the count of result IDs versus the count of survey answers per team. So we can see Team Alpha here has got 34 result IDs coming from the assessment side and 22 candidate answers or responses from the general survey platform. So that's just kind of looking at your assessment and survey data together. Bottom right here, we are looking at job role profile per team. So on our x-axis, we've got the job role, providing that you've got that data set up. And then we are counting the number of people per team. And the legend, of course, is our team names. So we can see that and we can easily swap those colors out if needs be. If I want to get a general idea of whether there are any filters applied, I can, of course, just hover my mouse over this little filter icon here, and that will show me whether this chart has any filters applied or not. Next up, we've got a report background dashboard. It's important to keep in mind that our background data is, of course, based on voluntary responses. So if any of these elements are really important for you, then I would suggest that you utilize one of your data fields to capture this information, or perhaps you have this data at hand. But right now we are looking at voluntary responses, so it may not represent the entire group that you're looking at. So top left, frequency of use. Middle, we're looking at the primary learning method. So, on the job, self-taught, or did they have formal education? On top right, we are looking at the primary industry or discipline. And then bottom left, the learn country. So this could be relevant because they might have learned in a different country where they have different standards, and it needs to be emphasized when mapping out a training and development plan for that user. Bottom right, we are looking at a comparison between the average self-rating percentage and the actual score. So the self-rating percentage is, of course, a voluntary response from the user, and that is captured during the assessment journey. And we are comparing that against the actual score. So we're looking for an alignment between these two values. So we can see the self-rating percentage is in the dark blue and the user score is in the yellow. If we hover over the bar, we can see that for Lisa Taylor, there was no score. For Rory's result, there was a self-rating percentage of 40, and there was no score. For Annie the architect, we can see that there was no self-rating selection, and we can see the average score and result ID. So that's just comparing self-rating percentage versus average score. Let's move on to our second background dashboard, which is also coming from our assessment data. So you will notice when you look at your consolidated data export from the survey platform that we allow you to view your survey data and your assessment data, because we appreciate that sometimes a survey is appended to an assessment and you might want to take a look at those things together. So here we're looking at the user status profile. So how many employees, contractors, interviewees do we have? The user created date, so how many users did I create per quarter? The primary discipline, but you can easily swap that out for another field from the background data. The number of years experience, and this of course is also a voluntary data input. You can utilize one of your data fields as a number of years experience with accurate data from your HR system if this one is quite important to you. And then job title profile again. So just showing you different options. You can easily delete the ones that do not speak to you and retain the others. Then the second part of the survey Power BI report is of course dedicated to your results overview. So we don't have all of the results visualizations in here, but we've tried to sort of narrow it down to a couple of key ones. So here we are looking at a bar chart with score and elapsed time, and we have the ability to filter to a specific test name or to a specific account name at the top here. We then include the results score scatter chart, and we can then look at sort of the profile of our results via this results score grade at the left, on the left here. So how many star users do we have, those that scored above 80, how many priority development, those that scored below 50, and how many was in that middle band, which is between 50 and 80. We can also filter to a specific result grade if we want, and we can then sort of use these levers to create focus around that specific data piece that we're looking at. Then we've got our general statistics page here, and some key statistics on the left hand side, highest ranking users, lowest ranking users, and of course when you hover over a bar you are provided with more information such as the full name and the test name. This of course here is the result ID. Then benchmarking comparisons. So for example's sake, we are using a comparison per assessments completed. We can see in yellow the number of result IDs and the company average shown in the red color. So we can see who underperformed and overperformed versus the overall company average. So we can easily see in terms of which tests did we score over the company average or below the company average. The top one is for score or accuracy and the bottom one is for time. Then results group analysis, just kind of showing you how you can start grouping your results together. So at the top here, we're utilizing our data field 1, which in our case is office location, and we can see the average score and time taken per office. At the bottom here, we can also look at the results per year or per month or per day to kind of start a comparative study of skill progression. And that's where we've left it for the survey report. So to go back to the home page, we will do a control click on this home icon and then back to the main menu. And of course, just to show you one last thing, to update your navigation buttons, you would just select the button, go to Format button, button text, and over there you would then be able to enter your label for the specific button. If you want to edit the bookmarks and change the actions related to those buttons, head over here to Action, and of course we are choosing Page Navigation, and select the appropriate report page to link that button. So I hope this was handy for you. If you have any questions regarding the survey report template, please feel free to reach out to us. We hope that you can see that we've tried to do the heavy lifting for you, and we do appreciate that every company will have a unique way of visualizing the data and formatting the data. And of course, you have full editorial control, so you can easily make those changes.